Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about how I mind dump to try and get everything that's floating around in my brain onto a piece of paper. I've obviously talked about this in previous videos, but I wanted to make one specifically dedicated to this because I feel like it's so important for me when I'm feeling stressed out, when I have a lot of stuff going on and I just need to get it down and then try and sort through it and get through some sort of order of what I need to do. So in this video I'm going to be showing how I mind dump first and then what I do with that so that I can have a plan for, say, the next week, and I know that by following that I'm going to get everything I need done. Hopefully by the end of this video you can have some sort of plan that you can take with you and then repeat this process as many times as you need to start getting things off of your to-do list. So the first part is pretty self-explanatory and it comes from the name, mind dump. So you dump everything that is going around in your mind onto a piece of paper. You might just want to do this for school, you might want to do this for life. I do this for pretty much anything that's going on in my brain right now. When I was writing this one, I was fairly confident in how I'd organise things in my head, so it wasn't completely filled of random scribbles about random things in my life, but I basically sorted it into school, which took up the majority of it, and then my outside things. So I've got an editing thing that I do for other people and the business that I run with my dad. So when you dump your mind onto the piece of paper, no matter whether it's in a notebook, a scrap piece of paper, whatever you feel you need to use, it literally could be anything that's floating around. So you can see that my school list started off with more like homeworks and catch-up work that I needed to do, and then it went into art. And if you know me, then you know that I always have art to do. I never stop doing art because there's always something else that I need to get done in that sketchbook. So, and actually in one of my previous videos someone said this video is basically just complaining about art, and I was like, accurate description of my life. Half of my mind dump is always art. So if you're an art student like me, then you might have something similar. So it might start off with more homework tasks and things that you actually have deadlines for, and then it might transition into other things that you've got floating around. Maybe you want to do some extra reading, maybe you want to make some revision things for a subject even though you haven't been asked to do it. It's a great idea to write that down. And you also might want to leave some space between, you might sort yours out like I have, but leave some space between them so that you can come back and add to them if you want to. But I normally just take another whole page and do another mind dump because there's something really therapeutic about just writing it all out. Just focusing on yourself and writing it down can really just help you stay more in tune with your mind. Sometimes when I do a mind dump I find that I've got a lot of things that are really small, but I've jotted them down anyway. I literally write anything that is going on in my brain. I think one of my ones before Christmas, I literally wrote down Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas, like Boxing Day, and I'm just like, because it was on my brain and so I needed to get it down onto the paper. So you might want to make an individual, like a smaller list of all those small things that are just playing on your mind, and that way you can get them out of the way with first. So say like hang the washing out, make my bed. It literally takes 2 minutes, but completing that list of smaller tasks can make you feel really accomplished. So if you're feeling stressed out, that's a great place to start. So once you've made a whole list of everything that's on your mind, you then want to just write down things that they have a deadline. Now this may not be everything, but for me a lot of my schoolwork had deadlines because teachers need work in by certain times, etc. What this can do is perhaps help you figure out that, yeah, okay, you've got more time than you originally thought, and that way again you can reduce your stress levels and just think, okay, I'll tackle this, then this, and then this. And it'll also help you with the next step, which is making a priority list. So now I've got all the tasks that I need to get done written down, and I then have deadlines for those that are particularly important. I then write a priority list starting with 1 to 10, so I only do 10 tasks, and I basically write down and I judge it bearing on, like, depending on how important I know they are, as well as when their deadline is. So even if I really don't want to do it, I'll write it down on the priority list, otherwise it just gets shoved to the back of the to-do list, which maybe won't be numbered. Personally, I've found this list really useful because it means that when I've completed, say, task number 1, instead of just like floating around and seeing what's next on my to-do list or what I want to get done next, or just picking one thing randomly out of my mind dump, and then just go, okay, what's step 2? Okay, I'll do that. And then step 3, I'll do that, and so on. And then when you've got to number 10, again, you've got that really good feeling of accomplishment. And then if you have more stuff to take out of your mind dump and make another priority list, then you can do that. It will also mean that you don't start wasting time on things that are not important right now. So say you've got 3 big pieces of homework, but you've also got 3 movies you want to watch. Well, 1, 2 and 3 on your priority list, I can't speak, are going to be homework. And then 4, 5 and 6, make them movies. Get a bit of work-life balance in there. But make sure that you've done 1, 2 and 3 before you move on to 4, 5 and 6. Leading on from that, if you are a student, which you most likely are if you're watching my channel, the priority list, the first couple of ones might be homework. What I don't suggest doing is, because you've got a load of coursework to do, and if you're like me, you sometimes think you need to do more than you actually do. So with those extra tasks that you've suddenly given yourself, you will find them on your mind dump because you realise that they don't actually have a deadline compared to the actual bulk of your coursework or your homeworks or your exam revision, blah blah blah. But make sure that the extra stuff comes after the necessary stuff. Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. Make sure the optional stuff comes after the necessary stuff, so that once you've got the necessary stuff, did I say that? Yeah, I did. The necessary stuff out of the way with, then the optional stuff kind of seems like less of a task. So you've already taken things off your chest because you've got everything that you need to get done, and you can focus on maybe doing an extra bit of reading or watching a movie, going for a workout, whatever you want to do. Make sure it's on there, but make sure it's below the stuff that say you've got a deadline tomorrow. Get that done first, obviously. One thing I do want to say is my list probably looks really long. So first of all, I break my tasks down into the absolute minuscule things. So for example, I've written down mechanics work. I've then written down week 4 and week 5 because they are separate things, but they're part of the same subheading, if you know what I mean. And especially with my art ones, I've got like contact sheet and then artist essays and then observation double page, artist pages, things like that. So artist essays and artist pages, they are one thing. And the contact sheet, I just need to do the title and the annotations. So they are small tasks, but I've put them down there and I've broken them down so that I can tick things off more frequently. However, if you find that if looking at a really long list is going to be really stressful for you, then squish it. So maybe just put observational page and then experiment page, even though they're like 3 pages, and then you can see, okay, well I only need to do observations and then experiments. I'm sorry, I'm talking in art terms, but the principle applies. You need to listen to your mind and see whether writing a really long list is going to help you. Like me, I'd like to see everything I need to do, but if you get really stressed out by that, then don't do that. Just write really short bullet points so that your priority list could be just 5 things, and that might feel a lot better than a longer one. Really, it's up to you, and make this your own, style. Maybe you just want to do it on a scrap piece of paper and then throw it away and never look at it again. I like using my bullet journal, but it's individual to everyone. If you found this video useful, then I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed to see future content that I upload every single week on a Saturday. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye!